Me and her, I respect her enough to respect her privacy and her space. Because, I can't believe everything I hear in the news, but what I see is, okay, cool, it might be something else going on.
It's safe to say that a lot of us are aware of Diddy's love for boys, and it didn't take Chris Brown long to confirm what a lot of us were puzzled with in our minds about the after parties Diddy throws. Chris Brown confirms that these exclusive parties are always all men and get a little too absurd than we think. Chris took the chance to shed light on a couple of wild and insane secrets about these parties that are bound to have you curious. Stick with us till the end of the video to find out. Chris Brown has collaborated closely with a lot of rappers and producers, and occasionally these guys got too close. Chris went on to explain how these powerful men, who outwardly appear to be straight, actually engage in fairly homosexual behaviour behind closed doors. However, the daddy just claimed that Mini Vane Reigns was seen doing that too, so bring it back on the slow homo cam. Well, did he make himself an insane amount of fortune? And if there's one thing he enjoys spending his cash on, it's extravagant parties. We are talking about $1 million parties with strict dress codes too. We can't deny that Diddy's parties are exclusive and fancy, and that only a select few people are invited to these secret parties. But we can only imagine the discomfort and unease of those who attend, especially if they don't want to. According to Snoop, Diddy's parties are notoriously wild and extravagant, with an endless supply of drinks and drugs. It seems like Diddy uses these parties to act out his SQL fantasies, and he doesn't seem to bother hiding it. Despite being one of the most well-known figures in the business, Diddy has no interest in keeping his sexual exploits a secret. He hosts extravagant parties that when we say they run wild, we really mean wild. Even other artists who are accustomed to the most extravagant and VIP parties experience a bit of a shock when they enter one hosted by Diddy. When Chris Brown entered one of the Diddy-organised after-parties and realised that this was unlike anything he had ever seen before, he was taken aback. If you ask us for advice, Diddy is not the type of man you should be partying with if you are straight, and honour your marriage given his track record. Despite being a father and being in a committed relationship, he did continue to host these clandestine gatherings that sound like a safe haven for secretly gay men to fulfill their sexual desires. Take a look at what Usher has to say about Diddy's antics after spending some time with him as an adult. We went there to see the lifestyle, right? And I saw it, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. Diddy's open hosting of gay parties may come as a shock to some, but his kinky and obscene sexual exploits have never been much of a secret for as long as we can remember. Diddy has been openly hitting on male rappers left, right and centre at any given time, and you'd think that a man of his stature would be cautious and secretive about this sort of thing, but he doesn't mind shooting his shot at anyone. One of the individuals who had their first-hand experience was 50 Cent. According to him, he was once instructed to take him shopping before Chris Knightley's wedding. I glanced at him and asked, what the, why don't you just let me move, man? The rapper 50 Cent describes how he made the awkward move of asking another straight man out and offering to take him shopping. Diddy was planning other favours rather than a simple shopping trip, and 50 Cent immediately knew this. 50 Cent didn't think of Diddy's behaviour at all and let him know that that's something a guy says to a girl. Diddy responded to 50 Cent's claim that Huffy was engaging in fluffy stuff by saying, I don't even think of no other man. If I'm thinking about another man, I'm thinking about uplifting. Well, Diddy will let you know. This response really makes one wonder whether Diddy really has no concern about the public knowing about his behaviour. If that wasn't persuasive enough, he even unintentionally admitted to sharing a bed with Usher when the latter was just a young lad. This is horrible on so many levels. Diddy is also a pedophile, as his confession makes it seem like back when he was like 10 and when I was a little older than his older brother, we used to argue over it. Usher also acknowledges that he would never send his children to Diddy's school. Even Diddy's bodyguards didn't keep his secrets and talked about how adventurous Diddy was with his sexcapades. Notice how he brought up what is pet favourite in social situations like clubs and parties. 14-year-old, you're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp? So every confession, whether unintentional or deliberate, centres on Diddy being gay and links him to gay clubs and parties, which is exactly what Chris Brown mentioned. His track record regarding inappropriate mannerisms is also quite impressive, and may play a significant role in how his fellow male rappers perceive him, much to his disappointment and with fear and apprehension for now. In one of the interviews, Diddy was caught bugging Fab for not joining him in parties. Fab didn't say anything and continued to display his uncomfortable appearance. The unfortunate guy appeared incapable of making eye contact with Diddy during the interview that followed, as if he wanted to be sucked into the earth. Chris Brown is correct in his assumptions about the gay parties that he appears to be an integral part of, and this also leads us to believe that Fab was probably freaked out by the idea of going with Diddy to one. As for what finally caused Chris to speak out, well, Chris has been in hot water for quite some time now because some of his ideologies don't sit well with the Liberals. A comment from rapper Raz, formerly of the group B2K, sent Brown into a defensive rage and caused him to unleash a series of below-the-belt tweets about homosexuals. The audience tends to assume that Chris Brown is homophobic based on some of his previous remarks regarding homosexuals, such as this one time he accidentally let on too much about his mindset regarding gay people, which leads us to believe that Chris has been openly perturbed by light signifiers of homosexuality. That is, if he wasn't busy putting his foot squarely in other people's mouths or yelling the N-word. More comments regarding homosexuality were made in 2010, and Chris threw his success in Raspbian's face by writing, "Grow up in a dick and day, ask little boy, tell me, this why when the money was coming and you were complaining about getting butt plugged, #homophobe." Brown's homophobic and racially insensitive comments made reference to Raz's statement that he was once abused by another man. Chris may have recognised that he erred, or more likely he was simply trying to stop the barrage of angry tweets that followed his insulting post. Later, Brown sent a message saying, "I'm not homophobic, he's just disrespectful." It was clear that Raz disagreed with Brown's assertions, writing, "You are not homophobic or just homosexual on the low." He went on to refute Brown's claims. "Since you took this that far, dude, I wasn't raped. What a disrespect to every kid around the world that has been molested." But it appears that Raz is expanding the boundaries of his limited mindset because recent interviews shows he is becoming more accepting of this notion. Not only does he openly discuss how the music industry must permit artists to lie as they like, he even tweeted about it, telling people to stop looking for BS. However, this whole gay party controversy also involves well-known music rappers including Tupac, who was rumoured to have been in a relationship with Diddy before they had a nasty fallout. Tupac was also said to have attended these events frequently, as Keith D later revealed. Before 2021, he continued to join the gay and hipster gatherings. Diddy was frequently referred to as a gay without justification. Everyone assumed the artist was gay because he didn't ever declare his orientation. However, his sexual orientation was the subject of a post in 2021 that allowed trolls to make fun of him and suggest he was gay. This incident occurred on the day of the BET Awards ceremony, when Lil Nas X had a performance that he ended with a passionate kiss from a male backup dancer. As rumours about his sexual orientation spread on social media, a mysterious tweet about the same bat was fired at him. Nas X did that, but Diddy's Twitter praised him in those remarks. Fearless, the result was that his fans started making fun of him. Although that tweet is no longer available, it's possible the singer deleted it later. Fans have a lot to say about Diddy's sexual orientation. One of them said, "Did he want to kiss Lil Nas X now to be fearless? Diddy, quit acting like you're not another additional Diddy and come out of the closet to show the world that being homosexual is acceptable." It seems highly doubtful that the industry will view Diddy in a different light unless he makes amends for his participation with minors and distances himself from freaky homosexual club activities. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.